Alrighty, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the updated May wish list and what characters you should put on your wish list and why. Now, before we even get into that, make sure you guys subscribe and like. We're only one subscriber away from 2.2, so you might as well sub whoever is watching that is new. And like the video and stuff like that. Let me change the wallpaper actually to Dorothy, because I know a lot of people who are like mad that I didn't have Dorothy on the last one. But yeah, so obviously we've gotten, or not Dorothy, whoa, D, pause. But obviously we got in a lot of new characters, right? And I think the wishes can actually be upgraded, right? I would say, obviously my wishes is different here just because I'm trying to just collect the characters I do not own since I'm past the 160 wall. So I guess how we're going to start this off is, I guess we can go about it like the 160 wall or characters. Or I guess let's do a disclaimer first. If you are under the 160 wall, the only people that should be on your wish list are characters that have dupes in them or characters you own. So essentially, let's say for Elysian, or let's say for Tetra, you have 3 characters, 2-star, and 1 character, 1-star, right? Your last character should be a character you already own, right? It shouldn't be a brand new character. It should be a character you already own. Your main goal as someone under the 160 wall is to pass the 161. The only way you're going to do that is if you get dupes for characters you already own. I know the brand new shiny character is going to be put in there sometimes, but I highly recommend that you focus more on just passing the 160 wall than getting another character to stay behind the 160 wall. That's just obviously my opinion. To you guys who are under the 160 wall, you can take it or leave it. But yeah, if you're past the 160 wall, it becomes different, right? Because you can really go for whoever you want. Like I said, I'm past the 160 wall, so my characters consist of characters that I feel like have the most value endgame, or characters I just do not own, right? Or characters I would love dupes for. So let's go to Elysian, for example, right? In Elysian here, this one is more of like the easier topic because like there's not really that much great Elysians, right? But I'm gonna tell you guys why you should pick some of these characters and not. So my characters right now are Inuwa, Privity, Emma, Polly, and D. We're actually gonna take Polly out and we're gonna put in Helm for me. That's just because I would love to have dupes for these characters specifically, and Inuwa is a character I do not own. Now when it comes to Elysian, characters like Miranda is going to be a good choice because she's the only burst 1 character with a 20-second cooldown. So for the tower, that's going to probably be essential if you get deep into the tower, only because the only other one is Emma, and Emma is a 40-second cooldown character. It's not really efficient. So Miranda, if you don't have her, that's definitely a good choice. Obviously, like I said, you can also do it like that, right? Put the characters you do not own. But if you already own her, then you really don't have any other reason to go for her, I feel like. I would say Privity is a character that is used everywhere from beginning to the end of the game. So just having dupes on her in general is just going to be perfect. She's literally used interception, PvP, simulation room, story, everywhere. Emma is another character who isn't really used outside. I want to say Emma really shines in PvP. I wouldn't really say Emma has much. I mean, she obviously has value everywhere else because she's a healer, but she's not a healer that's like, oh, the best healer type thing. If you have Pepper, if you have Rapunzel, then you're already good. If you have Noise, you're already good, right? Emma's just like a PvP type character there, right? Honestly, you don't even have to pick Emma, right? Polly's another good option, but she's not like somebody you must have. She's another really good option though. D, this is a character you probably want to, like, I would say guaranteed have this girl on your wish list. She's the only, not the only, but she's a very good boss killer / supporter, like boss supporter, right? Essentially, when she uses her burst skill, all attacker allies do more damage to enemy parts. Not to mention she's the only character, well, not the only, she's the character that makes it that you can start the game off with your burst skill, basically your full burst when you're fighting a boss. It's a very good character to have against the majority of the bosses in this game. She's very good against Modernia, she's very good against Train, she's very good against Chatterbox, even very good against Blacksmith. I want to say the only one she's like not really all that crazy against is Gravedigger, but every other interception boss and even like Union Raid boss, she's going to be pretty nice, right? Helm is just an overall good support as well, so if you want Helm on your team, Helm is another great option. Just a beautiful support from the beginning to the end of the game. I feel like actually she has more value end game with her heal and her support of attack increase, right? A very good option. But if you want my top 5 characters for Elysian, I would definitely say D, Helm, Privity, Emma, and then probably Pauline, or you could either put Diesel in there. I don't feel like any of these other, like Vesti, Maiden, Guillotine, I don't feel like they have much value, really, right? They probably are useful in one thing, but I know for a fact, like, Maiden is a good DPS, but she falls off endgame, really. So yeah, like I said, Emma, Privity, Helm D, and probably Poly or Diesel. Those are like good options there. Diesel is pretty nice for PvP, so there's that. Right? For the Missilist Corp, again, I don't need Add Me no more because I pulled her, but I do want dupes of Jackal. Now, Jackal is a character that you should only put here if you really care for PvP, her only value. In terms of general value, obviously you're going to want Litter. I think you're going to want Pepper for general value. Definitely you're going to want Laplace for general value. Right, like Missilist has a lot of good characters. Maxwell, Senti, Drake, Adme, Laplace, Pepper, Jackal, Litter. These are all great characters, right? Only Julia, Crow, and Ipeno here are bad. Everybody else is literally good. There's only 3 bad characters or average characters. Everybody else here has these. And Uni. Uni's another character, but I do not own Uni. That's why she's on my my wish list here. But yeah, there's a lot of good options. So I'm going to just kind of explain what they do, and then whatever you need from my explanation, put them on your wish list. So Maxwell is more of a boss killing type character. She also does support your 2 highest attackers with her first skill, I believe. A very nice like attacker support there if you want, but she is really good at boss killing as well. Drake is just an overall great DPS. Right, kind of a staple for the shotgun team, and very good for Gravedigger. Very good all around, right? If you just want like extra damage, that's what Drake really does, right? Adme is a character who's really good for reload speed. So when it comes to characters like Dorothy, or when it comes to characters who need to hit the last bullet, or characters who need to shoot a certain amount of bullets, and then they have to do it a certain amount of times to stack, that's where Adme really shines. Litter is going to be one of the best burst 1 characters in the game. Definitely the best character to pick off the wishes here. Right? Obviously with the being able to rebuild cover, massive attack buff, very, very good character. Pepper is a good healer, right? Probably second best healer in my opinion. I would say she's better than Noise when it comes to healing, but I do not think she's better than Rapunzel. But in terms of actually a healer on the wish list, she would be the best because you cannot pick Rapunzel. She's a pilgrim. Laplace is a very good character all around. She's a character that could take you from the beginning to the end of the game. I want to say she really shines more end game because she's a really, really nice boss killer, right? Her burst skill is really, really insane. So having her for that, again, extra damage with a burst skill instead of just raw damage like Drake, Laplace is really going to shine there. She can also do some nice damage like without the burst skill too. And then Jackal is like a must-have basically for PvP, right? I don't think you're going to use Jackal anywhere else, but Jackal is like the best PvP character in the game. So essentially having her will make your PvP runs easier, which is good because again, every 2 weeks you do get gems based on your placing for PvP. So for me, this is going to be my wish list here. Uni, Jackal, Litter. Senti. I didn't mention Senti, but Senti's a character that actually is very good. She's probably the best burst 2 character in the game. Just because she gives herself a shield like every other 3 to 4 seconds. That kind of nullifies 1 hit, which is very, very good. So this is my wishes here because I would want dupes on these characters, obviously, but you could go ahead and put one of those characters if you need them based on their reasonings, right? And then for Tetra is pretty good. Right, I want to say again in Tetra, I do not have Yan, I do not have Arya, I do not have Ludmilla. That's why they are there. But Tetra has some pretty good characters as well. Sugar is a pretty good character for the shotgun team. That's really her main value, I think. Alice is going to be the best character when it comes to DPS on this list, I want to say. Like, she's the hardest hitting character in the game that's not a pilgrim, so she's kind of a staple on your wish list. I think everybody should have an Alice on their wish list, if you want me to be honest, right? Obviously, the more dupes you have, the stronger she becomes, the more damage she does. It's a very, very nice character. Now, Ludmilla is a character who I feel like you should only have Ludmilla here if you do not have her or if you have Sakura. Ludmilla plus Sakura is a very, very insane comp for the train, and the train is the hardest boss, right? Sakura, if you have the damage but do not have the survivability support, Ludmilla and Sakura will give you that. Literally, they make it that the train does literally 1 damage. I'm not even like, that's not a, like, I'm not exaggerating. I mean, when you use those 2 together, you will see the number 1 as damage from Ludmilla, because she does taunt for 15 seconds when you're in a full burst. I think it's 15 seconds, right? Let me just double check. I believe it's 15. Yeah, for 15 seconds when you're in a full burst. That's insane, right? And then she also reduces damage while being taunted. And then with Sakura's burst skill, obviously the train is already doing no damage to you for the first 30 seconds, so it's a very good pickup. Novel's another good pick when it comes to like bosses and lowering their defense, making it that you do more damage to them, so I guess damage taken to the bosses. A very nice burst 2 character in that sense. Noise is another good character to have on your wishes, a very, very good character for healing, right? She kind of runs the game too. She's used in majority of the bosses, she's used in PvP, she's used quite a lot too, right? Dala, a very good character, burst 2 attack or support, really. That's her main thing. Every like other 5 seconds, she's going to give you an attack buff, which is pretty nice. Rupee is another attack supporter, attack buffer, but hers is not as, I want to say it's not as consistent. I mean, it technically is. It's like you're only going to really get it for everybody when you use her burst skill, but she herself will do nice damage as well. She's a very, very good character. I didn't even mention it for Senti as well, but Senti is a really good character for burst generation as well in the missileless one, right? I always forget to mention that, and I feel like that's a very important fact as well. Sakura, again, this is your only reason pulling her is for the train, right? If you just don't have her, put her on your wishes, of course, if you're past the 160 wall, but she's a very good character for the train, and I feel like having her in Ludmilla for the train is kind of like, it's kind of a steal, right? Because again, it's doing no damage to you. When it comes to these characters here, Biscuit's a pretty good character overall. We already know that she's gonna be a good, like, she's a character who will definitely grow and get higher in the tiers based on the characters that come out, because she supports any and every single character that comes into the game. For example, Dorothy just came into the game, and her burst and Biscuit's burst skill is supporters get a massive attack buff when she uses her burst skill. Dorothy now gets that massive attack buff, and she's kind of a DPS already, so it's a very, very nice right there. With the pierce effect from Dorothy herself, very good. I don't feel like you need Soda, Coco, or Viper, if you want me to be honest. I don't see much value for them, but obviously if you want to, then by all means you can, but I personally don't see much value for those 3 characters in a general sense. But yeah, if you want me to tell you guys the top 5, I would say probably Alice, maybe Biscuit, Dollar, Rupee, Noise. You can have Novel there. Like, those characters that I mentioned are the characters you want to choose between. If my reasoning is the like what you're looking for, then just slap them there basically. But my wishes is only like this because I do not own Yan, I do not own Aria, and I do not own Ludmilla. So this is going to be my wish list for May. You guys definitely let me know if you guys agree with me or not. I mean, you don't have to, it's fine, but let me know what your wish list is and why. Obviously everybody's gonna have a different wish list, but I feel like this is going to be the best reasons, or at least one of the best reasons why you should put these characters on your wish list. So it's gonna be your boy Zxous. You guys let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Later. Peace. Bye 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 bye.